Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back. Now, wow. Today we got a very interesting topic. I was going to throw this on the Patreon, but I feel like we have to have this conversation in the public because, man. Now, anyway, take a look up on the screen, as you can see by the headline. The World Bank Court blocks Niger from selling the uranium from the Somer mine. This is ridiculous. Now, the Somer mine was the uranium mine that was taken back by the government. Of course, for those of y'all that have been following the channel, we have been keeping track of that entire economic dispute. The government has taken back the mines in totality, and the French government, unfortunately, they don't want to leave us alone. They don't want to go home. They don't want to let it go. Listen, let it go, bro. Let it go. And situations like this, it really exposes who really needs who, right? Do I really need you, or do you really need me? Right? Who's really doing charity for who? That's why I say it's the African continent doing charity, doing welfare for these freeloading bums, for these bloodsuckers and freeloaders, for these parasites. That's what it is. That's the true relationship, right? You go around the world masquerading as a philanthropist and a humanitarian when in reality, I'm the one doing charity for you. I'm the one doing welfare for you because you as a man don't have the capability to stand on your own 2 feet. You don't have the capacity, right? You have to leech off me. You have to stand on my back in order to succeed, in order to compete because you're a bum. Now, let's start from the beginning. How do we get to this situation, right? You remember last year. Take a look up on the screen. After the 2023 coup, Niger's military government gained control of the country's uranium mines, nationalizing the active mine and revoking permits held by the French. You remember these articles back last summer. Niger pulls the French firm's permit for a big uranium mine, right? That was major. You already know. If you go back during that time, I got videos celebrating, right? I was celebrating. Oh man, we done kicked out the adversary. It's time to party. Anyway, last December, the French nuclear firm Orano says Niger has taken control of the uranium mine. So last December, the company acknowledged that the government has taken control of the uranium mines, right? Take a look up on the screen. Orano reported a loss of 133 million euros in the first half of 2024, citing the situation in Niger as a major contributing factor. Now, as you can see, as soon as they lost access to the mines, as soon as they lost access to the welfare, the company just started collapsing, right? Hemorrhaging hundreds of millions of dollars. Man, it was just all bad. It just crashed down so fast. Like they didn't save no money. I don't know what was going on, right? So now they ran to the World Bank, right? The adversary in a last ditch effort done ran to the World Bank so we cannot sell or profit or exploit our own uranium that the creator gave to us, that belongs to us naturally, our birthright, our God-given right on our territory, on our soil, right? Yo, bro, the audacity. Man, listen, let's get into some of these articles. Take a look up on the screen. For months, the exploitation of uranium in Niger has been at the center of a standoff between Niamey and the French group Orano. Niamey, that's the capital. On Friday, Orano claimed that a tribunal established under the auspices of the International Center for the Settlement of Investment Disputes had arbitrated in his favor. According to the company, the court instructed the state of Niger not to sell, assign, or even facilitate the transfer to third parties of the uranium produced by the Somer held in violation of Orano's rights. Now, Somer, that's the name of the mine. Now, this simply confirms the reality that I've always stated. This simply confirms who is really doing charity for who, right? And France right now, as you already know, currently undergoing economic collapse in a state of pure desperation, absolute desperation. Somebody who is being submerged underwater, desperately trying to stay afloat. But something else it confirmed for me was that these so-called international organizations are not unbiased good faith actors, because Niger already presented their justification for the reason why they took over the mines. They said this, take a look up on the screen. Niger has decided to take control of the Somer company to allow for healthier and more sustainable management of its resources. The military government declared in an official statement that signaled a dramatic shift in the country's resource management philosophy. The military government's accusations were specific and damning. They claimed that Orano, that's the French company, had violated shareholder agreements, exploited the uranium resources beyond the authorized levels, and operated with insufficient transparency. These allegations served as the legal foundation for what many observers describe as nationalization in all but name, right? So these guys committed crimes, committed financial crimes, which served as the justification to take back what naturally belongs to us in the first place. But yet and still, the World Bank seen all this evidence, and keep in mind, Orano That's not the original name of the company. The original name of the company was something like Arriva or something like that. But they had to change the name because they were engaged in so much criminality, so much corruption, so much unethical business that they had to change the name of the company to rebrand the image of the company. So this is a company that has no credibility to begin with. Now, I will say this. This is only a temporary order from the World Bank. It's not a permanent decision. It's just basically saying that you cannot profit or exploit the uranium for your own personal enrichment until we get the case settled and solved. That's what it is. So while the case is ongoing, you cannot exploit the uranium, right? So that's basically what is going on, which is still some BS because we have things to do. I cannot just be sitting up, who knows how long this case is going to go on? Is it going to go on for drag on for 2, 3, 4 years? How long is it about to be? I'm going to sit around just wasting my time twiddling my thumbs. That's a waste of time. Take a look up on the screen. Niger wants to construct 2,000 megawatt nuclear reactors. So listen, we cannot be sitting around just wasting time in litigation, brother. You got to just leave us alone, bro. You got to leave us alone. I know your economy is in shambles. I know your economy is in tatters right now, but that's not my business. That's none of my business. Take a look up on the screen. Why France's financial woes are pushing the government to the brink. France could be about to crash the global economy. Unsustainable debt and a lavish welfare system risk triggering a run on the banks. A wealth tax could be deadly for the French economy, says Europe's richest man. LVMH owner Bernard Arnault, who could take a $1 billion hit, says a 2% levy will destroy the liberal economy. The French government is in danger, and so is the French economy, right? So listen, I know it's all bad for you over there, bro. I know you desperate, you squirming, you sending intelligence agents into the region. I know it's all bad for you. I know, but that's none of my business. I have my own plans. I have my own ambition. I have my own things I got to do. I cannot be wasting my time with you. You had enough time to get rich. You had enough time to stack your money. It's time for me to get money now. It's time for me to get money now. You had your time to get money. That's fine. It's time for me to get money now, bro. It's my time now. That's what it is. It's my time now. Your population is in decline. My population is on ascension, right? It's my time. It's not your time. You had your time. Sit back. It's over. It's over. It's over, bro. Ride off into the sunset like Portugal. All right. Just ride off into the sunset like the Portuguese and just be reduced to a small tourist dependent economy, an irrelevant tourist economy. When people go to France, they go to the Eiffel Tower. They might take a trip to the Louvre, right? The Champs-Elysees, things like that. But that's your future. OK, you're going to be a tourist destination, right? The time for power and wealth accumulation. That's my time. It's my time now, brother. So leave me alone. Leave us alone, bro. Leave us alone. But as you can see, brothers, this right here is an example of both economic warfare and diplomatic warfare at the same exact time, right? France is waging both economic warfare by trying to sabotage our economy, because if we do not have the ability to exploit our natural resources, then our economy is going to start collapsing like theirs, right? They want to see our economy in the dumpster like them, right? They don't want to see us up and get money and live a lavish. No, because they know if we are up, then that means they're on the bottom, right? So due to the fact that it's us doing charity for them, it's us doing welfare for them, it's us subsidizing their lifestyle, you see them pulling out all the stops to maintain this welfare system, this lopsided welfare system, right? Using these diplomatic channels like the World Bank and these international courts that really serve their interests because they were the ones that established these so-called organizations. They sit as shareholders on these organizations. So obviously they're going to serve your interests and not mine. Now, of course, they don't necessarily have to listen to the World Bank. The World Bank doesn't have an army that's going to come in and enforce this court decision. But other nations who might be dependent on the World Bank, or they might have a good relationship with France, right? They might simply avoid doing business in order to maintain that relationship. So that's a form of diplomatic warfare and economic warfare simultaneously, once again. But also at the same time, due to the fact that uranium is such a prized commodity, such a treasured resource, that you might have nations that they don't even care about the so-called international order. They might just say, listen, I need the uranium, right? I need the uranium. He got the uranium. I'm going to go get the uranium, right? I'm going to go purchase some uranium, bro, because I need it, right? So regardless of what the international courts say, my economy says that I need to do business with you. My economy says that I need to get close to you, right? You are the uranium plug. You are the plug on the uranium. You are the uranium man. So I got to get close to you. I got to be friendly with you, right? I got to make sure that I'm on your good side because you got the uranium. You got what I need, right? So it could go either way. You might have nations that capitulate to the World Bank and might capitulate to France diplomatically, or you might have nations that just say, forget it. Who cares what they think? I need the uranium for me and my nation and my economy, right? Now, I'm sure some of y'all been seeing, I believe the United Nations General Assembly has been going on recently. A lot of people in town, New York City, and the Prime Minister of Niger, he actually called France out directly, right? In terms of the topic we're talking about today and just in general, he came direct up the middle, called them out to their face like a man. He wasn't talking in subliminals. He said, listen, those are the enemies and that's what it is, right? Take a look up on the screen. The Niger Prime Minister accuses France of training, financing, and equipping terrorists. Niger's leader says he is addressing the conscience of the world to point the finger at the hostile force, which, since the 19th century, has not disarmed and is still waging a total war against my country. I'm going to get into the clip. I'll be right back.
The government of Niger, much like those of Mali and Burkina Faso, regularly informed international public opinion of the evidence we've collected, evidence of the involvement of a number of foreign powers in the destabilization of the Alliance of Sahel States and of the support they're providing to terrorists. Madam President, ladies and gentlemen, speaking from this rostrum, I'd like to condemn the self-avowed support of France to terrorism in Sahel and in particular in Niger. Indeed, since French troops were cast out from Niger in 2023, as announced, the government of France has established a subversive, underhand plan to destabilize my country. It involves sending intelligence to training, funding, and equipping terrorists. Unfortunate attempts to create the conditions for inter-ethnic conflicts in Niger and in the Sahel, a disinformation and misinformation campaign to discredit my country, our institutions, our political leaders, and our army. France has also maintained and fueled ongoing political tensions between my country and some of our neighbors. On top of that, we must mention the economic and financial war, an unprecedented war which betrays France's hateful desire to thwart any and all of our development projects by disincentivizing investment and systematically voting against my country in all international financial institutions, whether that be the African Development Bank, the World Bank, or the IMF. These crimes remind us of those committed by France in Niger, and this ever since 1899. Crimes which remain an open wound on our collective memory. In the name of human rights, I recall the innocent victims of the Central African Mission. I recall cities and villages which were pillaged and set on fire. I recall the carnage in Junju and Lugu. I recall martyr cities, Korenkalgo, where the population was entirely exterminated. In Beni Nkoni, where over 7,000 people were thrown into mass graves. I'm recalling pregnant women eviscerated, their fetuses left for the vultures to claim. I speak on behalf of raped women and hanged little girls. I speak on behalf of men shot dead and members of the resistance decapitated. On behalf of my country, Niger, I solemnly demand that France shoulders its duty of remembrance, to shoulder its duty of remembrance and to recognize its crimes.
All right, we back. Now, I just want to remind you, this is a temporary order from the World Bank Court, but we already know, like I said, these organizations are not for us. They were not designed for us. They were not established and spearheaded by us. And when you look at the majority shareholders, we can see that these organizations are not going to serve our interests, including the United Nations, right? That's why you could have the prime minister go up in front of everybody and say that, and France will never be held accountable. In fact, back in 2022, like 3 years ago, right? Take a look up on the screen. Mali accuses France of arming Islamist fighters in a letter to the UN, right? So Mali already wrote personal letters to the UN basically saying, listen, the French government is literally engaging in full-blown destabilization of my country. They're literally trying to undermine the sovereignty and the stability and the welfare of my people, right? And the UN didn't do a damn thing, right? So even now with the prime minister going up and saying what he said, France will still never be held accountable. In fact, aren't they one of the members on the UN Security Council? So they're never going to hold themselves accountable. That's why I say these organizations are not for us. They're not for us. That's how you could have a situation where a company like Orano, which had to change its name because it was doing so much unethical business, so much bad business, right? So many lawsuits, and yet still they get the favoring decision in the World Bank, a company with no credibility, a company with no integrity, a company that is known for corruption. And that's how you know it's some funny business going on. And just last month, we already know, take a look up on the screen, a suspected French spy was arrested in a plot to overthrow the Malian government, right? So one of the members of the French intelligence, the French Secret Service, currently right now is still in custody. And as you can see, the French are just desperate. They scrambling, bro. They scrambling. They don't want to give up the welfare. They don't want to give up the welfare. They understand their entire lifestyle, their entire system is subsidized off looting and pillaging off Africa. And now they can't pillage and loot from Africa as effectively. Now they don't know what to do. That's why you even had the richest man in France, Bernard Arnault, the Louis Vuitton billionaire. He says that if you guys put a tax on the rich, we're going to leave the country. He said, if you put a tax on the rich, all of us are going to take our money, take all of our resources, and we're going to flee the country. So now the French government doesn't know what to do, right? Tax the rich, send the citizens back to work, take away their benefits and their health insurance, or go attack the Africans. They don't know what to do, right? The wealthy elites said, listen, if you attack me, I'm going to leave the country. The average citizen said, if you attack me, I'm going to take to the streets and I'm going to burn the country, right? The African said, listen, if you attack me, I got them brand new state-of-the-art air defense systems. You're going to die in my country. So the French, they don't know what to do. They have multiple intelligence agents currently locked down in West Africa right now. I mean, it's all bad. It's all bad. The debt rises every single second, every single minute, every single hour, every single day, every single week. The debt is just getting bigger and bigger. And that's why they're playing these underhanded games, these desperate games. I'm going to go to the international courts, right? And I'm going to open a case, right? The audacity, you of all people believe you have the moral authority to open a case or point your finger of judgment or even open your mouth against me. How dare you? You got some nerve. But that really goes to show who really needs who is really depending on who is doing welfare and charity for who. Right? Like I said, it seems like I'm doing charity for you. It seems like the evidence shows that you are a bum that cannot stand on your own 2 feet as a man, right? As soon as I begin to stand up, you begin to fall over, right? Because you're a parasite and a bum. But anyways, I'm not going to be here too long, man. It's your boy Neferkari Desaline. Second single off the next project, The Spy and Bamako. Pin comment at the top. Subscribe to the Patreon. Link in the description. And I'm gone. Peace.
Feel like it's see me, I feel like I'm Saudi or ran up on Yan in the middle of Bamako. Enemy line, they claiming he innocent. Don't do no talking, I gotta move militant. Don't do no talking, I hit him with facts. 1804, bringing it back. 1804 like I'm Mother Cap Henry. King with the vision, the crown never empty. Top of the mountain, my soldiers defend me. Ducking and dodging the foreign intelligence. Hitting my dance on the DGSE. Dodging they traps, still on my feet. Feeling impeccable, feel like I'm shining. Go to my neck and I'm flooded with diamonds. Go to my neck and I feel like a mess. Feel like a lion, I'm in the savannah. Feel like the king when I'm up in the jungle. Never defeated, I never been humble. Come out victorious every encounter. Money machine give me help when I count it. Money machine stack it up in a beat. Heart of a king and I ride for the team. Weight of the world got it stuck on my shoulders. Bet you can feel it, my heart getting colder. Yeah, gotta stay focused so when it's in shots I gotta react. Cause I'm a target, I'm under attack. Grabbing a weapon, I tell him get back. Mission exposed, secrets unfold. Enemy try but I'm still in control. Got your boy sitting in Bamako prison. Hoping they wish we sending them home. Enemy know that we good under pressure. Been through the thunderous turbulent storm. Shorty a diamond, I told her she pressure. Hop in a whip and I'm taking her home. Hop in a whip and I'm swerving, I'm smashed. Killing my enemies, one of my passion. Rocking this gold like we in bikini. Feel like the captain, I'm clutching a heater. Yeah, gotta stay focused so when it's in shots I gotta react. Cause I'm a target, I'm under attack. Grabbing a weapon, I tell her get back. Mission exposed, secrets unfold. Enemy try but I'm still in control. Got your boy sitting in Bamako prison. Hoping they wish we sending them home. Enemy know that we good under pressure. Been through the thunderous turbulent storm. Shorty a diamond, I told her she pressure. Hop in a whip and I'm taking her home. Hop in a whip and I'm swerving, I'm smashed. Killing my enemies, one of my passion. Rocking this gold like we in bikini. Feel like the captain, I'm clutching a heater.